Thanks, Bex. Hi, everyone. It's bizarre not being able to see you all, but yeah, great to have so many on. So welcome and thanks again, Bex, and to Business Isle of Man and Chamber for having me. I'm really delighted to be here. So hopefully this is all going to work quite well. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, is that working, Bex? Hopefully that's. Can you all see that? Oh my gosh.
If everyone raises their hands to let Kirsty know she's okay. Yep, you're all good, Kirsty.
Okay. I can't see the raise hand thing, so I'll just let you guide me on that. Okay, so let's just get going. Now, one thing, just to let you know, I speak really fast and I'm trying not to, but if I'm going too fast, please do shout up and just say, whoa, 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 slow down. I've got a bit of a mixture of stuff this morning because I know that we've got loads of different people of different abilities on. So I'm really hoping that I've managed to pull together something that will be suitable for all of you. So no matter what level you are at, you'll take away something that's actionable. If not, do let me know if there's like anything I can do, but hopefully you'll all get a little bit of something, but I imagine there'll be some bits that aren't all relevant to everybody, if that makes sense. Okay, so just a little bit about me. I've had a bit of a crazy life. I was a music teacher for, I don't know, 11 years, and I went into projects in oil and gas, and I was an executive assistant, and I was made redundant with my 1-month-old baby. And then I did this amazing course called Digital Mums, which is considered one of the best social media marketing teaching courses that you can do. And that was 6 months immersive training. And that set me up really to go on and launch my business. And soon after that, I realized that Facebook is really, although you can make it work organically, and I will use that word a lot today, organically means when you're just posting and you're not putting any budget behind, you're not putting in any payment, sponsoring posts, you're just doing that regular posting. That's the thing that we all generally do on Facebook, organic. So that's sort of unpaid stuff. That's kind of, it still works if you're really good at it, but it can be very, very hard to make any headway, which I'm sure you've all noticed. So I decided to go really deep on Facebook advertising. And so now I offer both Facebook organic and advertising. And I love how it all works together, using it all to get, to get the results that we want. So I then did after I did Digital Mums, I did a really immersive, another 6 months training in Facebook advertising as well, with a wonderful lady called Emma Van Hoosen, who's a bit of a superstar at Facebook ads. She did her own course directly with Facebook. So that was really good. And that's what I do now. And I help entrepreneurs and SMEs generate more leads through leveraging the power of social media. So let's hop on. It's good to meet you all. Now, I did put this question in before I realized there was 70 odd people on. So I know we've got a real mixture of stuff. So do you know what? If you just quickly put in the chat, the chat. Where is the chat? I can't see it on here now. What do you do? What's your business? Just so I've got a bit of an idea. Very quickly, just type 1 or 2 words. E-learning, property. Theo, hi Theo. Financial services, bookkeeping, accountancy, Manchester 2 fabric, self-catering, marketing, chiropractor, hospitality. Oh, St. John's Mill, hello. Legal, holiday, VA, hairdressers, event hire, author, wow. Bridal special occasions, Typhoon. Typhoon, I like what you guys do on social, you're good. Multi-role construction, brilliant, okay. Jewelry, holistic therapy. Oh, is that Chris? Do I know you, Chris? Is it Chris I know? If it's you, hello. Forecasting, budgeting. So, oh yes, okay. Porto and paddleboards. I keep meaning to get on one of those. Okay, brilliant. So we've got a right old mix of stuff. So yeah, hopefully I'll have something for you all. Welcome, welcome. Lovely to see you all. And sorry I can't see you, but yeah, lovely to have you all here. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is a bit of a soapbox for me, and actually it might have changed. You might have been forced to do this recently. It's really important that you have 2-factor authentication set up. All too often, my first meeting with people is because they contacted me because they said, "Oh, I heard you can speak to Facebook. Can you help me? I've had my account hacked." And they've got into my business manager and they've taken over my business manager. They've spent my money on my credit card. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, did you have your 2-factor authentication set up?" And all too often the answer was no. So I do believe, I've had mine set up for years, so I haven't had the push, but I do believe that Facebook have been pushing this recently And so if you haven't already got it set up, they are pushing you to do it. If you have business managers set up, and you're going to get these slides afterwards, by the way, so you'll get these links, and these links basically tell you the steps that you need to go through to get your two-factor set up. But if you have more than one person in your business, you might have a business manager, a Facebook business manager, which is a separate sort of platform house that houses your pages and your accounts. If you don't have that, don't worry, don't get confused just now. If you do have that and you know you've got that, then you also need to make sure that you go to the URL on my third bullet point there, business.facebook.com/settings. You need to go into Security Center, and you need to make sure that you've got the two-factor authentication turned on for your business manager. And that means that people who haven't got their personal two-factor authentication turned on, which is the first bullet point here, how to do it, they won't be allowed into your business manager, and it just keeps it a lot more secure. So you're going to get these slides, follow those links, go and check it out. I'm not going to go on about it, but just make sure that you can get that in place. I can't really carry on without mentioning this weekend. I don't know if you're on iOS or Apple devices. You might have been logged out on Saturday morning when you first came onto Facebook. I believe that is something to do with, I think they're trying to put something in place to fix the fact that iOS, with the new update, iOS 14.3 or whatever it is, they are going to ask people to opt into tracking or opt out of tracking. And they think a lot of people are going to opt out of tracking. So I think Facebook were trying to do a sneaky fix there over the weekend to preempt that update on iOS. So I think that's why we were logged out. I haven't seen anything much since. I haven't been to look really, but a lot of people are saying it was a hack. I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook saying, do you know that Facebook follow you and they hear you talk and da-da-da? I'm like, well, yeah, they've been able to do that for 10 years. That's why they're so good at what they do. We are their product. They sell our data basically to advertisers, and that's how it works. Now, I might be smiling about that. I think it's a bit creepy. That's how Cambridge Analytica came off. However, if we can use it to leverage it to grow our businesses, then I'm kind of all in. But I understand it's sticky ground. I understand they have probably gone a bit too far, and they are going to be getting sorted out. But I couldn't really not mention that. But hopefully that puts your mind at rest. But I don't think Facebook was hacked over the weekend. But time will tell. I might have to be wrong on that. Okay, we're going to hop on with the next thing. So Facebook's mission. In order to understand how to make the most of Facebook, you really need to understand what their mission is, because we're on here as businesses. And if you think of Facebook as a party where your nano's there, your granddad maybe is there, your sister's there, your 14-year-old child is maybe there, everyone's there, and they're kind of on there gossiping and catching up and sharing photos and sharing funny stuff. They're not really there to be sold to. And so you have to get into that mindset. So you have to, let's just read this. Facebook's mission is to give people the power to build community and bring the world closer together. People use Facebook to stay connected with friends and family, to discover what's going on in the world, and to share and express what matters to them. And don't they just express what matters to them at the moment? Oh, I keep away from some of these threads at the moment. It's just awful. But anyway, that's what Facebook is all about. It's not there for businesses to, we have to be really clever as businesses to tap into this mission. Okay, so have a think about that. Some numbers. There are 2.74 billion monthly users. There are 80 million small businesses on there. 96% of users are accessing via mobile. So that's a really important stat. If your website, if you have a website, when you're sending people off to it, is not optimized for mobile, you're kind of missing out, because people will get frustrated and they'll go somewhere else. Well, it's not quite as simple as that. They might persevere if they really want you to buy whatever it is you're offering. But yeah, just bear that in mind. You want it to be a really lovely mobile user experience, because 96% of people are on mobile. The average engagement rate, so that's the number of people who see your post divided by the number of people who are engaging as a percentage, is 0.09%. That is so low, isn't it? It's really low. I try to get higher. I do get higher for my page and for when I'm doing it for clients, because we can do. And I would imagine that in the Isle of Man, generally it's a lot easier to get more engagement, because a lot more people are engaged on Facebook over here than they are potentially across. Nearly 75% of high income earners use Facebook. That might be quite an interesting stat. And so whilst Facebook is not the only place to be, and it shouldn't be the only place that you are, and you shouldn't put all your eggs in the Facebook basket, because if it goes wrong, it is rented turf. We lose all of our followers, we lose all of that stuff we've built up. So you should be concentrating not just on Facebook, but on how you can get the people that follow you on Facebook onto an email list or into your shop or whatever it is, however else you can, you know, interact with your customers and clients, maybe another social media network as well. Maybe it's a direct mail list, so you can keep in touch that way. Whatever it is, don't just rely entirely on Facebook, because it is rented turf. And if it goes wrong, we are all screwed. So don't let that happen. Be thinking further afield as well. But it is a brilliant tool and we shouldn't ignore it, okay? So what's pushed in the feed? I wonder, I put these three things. This is generally what I see in my feed. Do you want to just pop onto your phones a minute? Have you all got your phones? Do you want to just hop onto your phones and go into your Facebook app and have a quick scroll down and see if I'm right? Are you seeing friends and family updates, group contents, that's posts that is appearing in groups, and paid contents, that's sponsored ads? Is anyone seeing anything massively different from that? Just going to hop into the chat. Is Business Suite the same as Business Manager? Business Suite is kind of a new version of Business Manager, but you should still be able to get into Business Manager from Business Suite. Why doesn't Digital Isle of Man use Facebook looking at numbers? Ooh, that's not a question for me, I don't think. Okay, so would you agree? So friends and family, so you're going to see especially friends and family posts from people that you're messaging or engaging with more often. Group content, you're going to be seeing content that you're in groups that you engage with more often, or a particularly engaging post. So I don't know if there's quite a few ladies in here. I don't know if any of you are on the Isle of Man Ladies in Lockdown group. When a post goes off in there, then it's going to appear in your feed. Like some of those posts get 400 comments. It's insane. And then paid content, obviously they're pushing into your feed. So that's generally what we're seeing. So are you noticing the thing that's missing from here is organic, i.e. not sponsored Facebook page posts. Now, if you keep scrolling for a wee while, you'll probably start to come across some, but they are not there massively in your face. Unless there's someone that you follow first, you can do that on Facebook. You can choose to follow somebody first and to make sure that those posts get pushed into your feed first, which is why it's good to encourage people to do that. I'm just going to see there's some people in the chat. And you hasn't got yeah, cool, that's interesting. Vicky, to set up my work page, I had to set up a new personal account and then set up a page. Is that wrong? Should it have gone as a... So you should never set up a new fake personal profile for the point of setting up a business page. Don't ever do that, because Facebook does not like fake profiles. So you set up a business page off the back of your regular personal account, and then you make it a business page when you set up that page. Okay, so the average person scrolls through 300 feet of mobile content every day. That's insane. It's insane, isn't it? That's the equivalent to the size of the Statue of Liberty. I've no idea how they figured that out, but there you go. So it's really hard, like people are on their phones, but what you've got to do is you've got to stand out. So you've got to figure out what it is that's going to help you to stand out in the Facebook feed. What makes Facebook tick? So Facebook loves engagement. It's the thing it loves the most, because that works in with their mission, doesn't it? That they want people to be having a nice time, to connecting and bringing the community together. And they're doing that by communicating, engaging. If Facebook algorithm is seeing people engage with your content, they're like, oh, this is brilliant. We'll show that post to more people. And engagement can be anything. It can be micro engagements like reactions, that's likes or loves or whatever. Comments, little comments, or kind of short, small engagements, or if even better, if you can encourage long comments, and even better, if you can get people talking, like taking a thread off and commenting together, then that's going to make that post fly. Sharing, obviously. If anybody sends the post in Messenger, my mum does that to me all the time, drives me nuts. But if she's sending me posts and that post is getting sent as a message somewhere, then that's the algorithm's going to see it and think, oh, this is a good post, we'll show it to more people. If people are saving the post, that's really good. Tagging people on the post, clicking the post, that's engagement. Viewing the video, that's good, that's engagement. Carousel, if they're scrolling through. Shared in a message. Oh, sorry, up here I meant sending messages off the back of it. Poll answers, do any of you use polls? They're really good to get engagement. Reactions and comments and stories. So if you can use the engagement encouraging features in stories, then that's really good. So Facebook is looking for people to engage with your content. So you have to figure out what it is that makes people engage. Also, before you get them engaged, you have to somehow stop the scroll. So that's people scrolling the size of the Statue of Liberty every day. What is it that's going to stop the scroll? It's going to be a really eye-catching graphic or video, or it's going to be copy. I never knew what the word copy meant for years, by the way, until probably about a year ago. That's the writing on the post, just in case any of you are as daft as me. No, sorry, I'm not calling you daft. I'm just saying it's all these words. I never knew what any of them meant. But the writing on your post, if you can catch somebody and make them read it and go, oh, they're talking to me. So calling out your audience in your copy is a really great way to stop the scroll. So for example, citizens of the Isle of Man, like sometimes I might start a post with that, or Isle of Man folk, listen up, or something like that. So that, you know, something like that can work, but you wouldn't want to do that all the time. But that's what I mean. You want to stop. Or if you've got an ad and you've got a headline in the ad, what is the headline that is going to grab people's attention? So is it 3 ways to declutter your house before selling it, or something like that? Because people love a list as well. So can it be a list? Can it be the start, you know, shouting out a list? So how are you going to stop that scroll? And with Facebook, engagement, so up here, this stuff here, engagement equals reach. If you get engagement, it's going to push it out to more people. Okay, because if you're not getting engagement, if you've looked in your insights recently, then there's every chance that your post is not reaching very many people at all. I'm just going to hop into the chat. Yeah, photos can do that. I find emojis. Yeah, emojis can help. Good, well done, Simon. Okay, cool. Are you talking organic and not paid for? Yeah, generally today I'm generally talking organic, Darren. Okay. So the next thing is you need to be really strategic, okay? So don't just post any old nonsense, have a plan behind it, because every time you post, it's taking you time. You're putting time and energy into that. So you want to make that time and energy pay back. You want to get a return on that investment. So first thing to do is consider your business objectives. What are your business objectives? That's going to help you define your Facebook objectives. Define your Facebook objectives. Now I would choose 2, maybe 3 every sort of quarter, and review them every quarter. Is this what we still want to be doing? Don't just, you know, go on you know, without thinking, okay, reviewing. Have a think. What do you want to do? Is it all about awareness? Do you want to build your audience? And you want to be building an engaged audience, by the way. You don't want to just be building an audience, i.e. don't buy followers from India, which that was a big trend for a while. You want to improve your engagement, maybe. You want to build your email list, maybe. Drive more online traffic, drive more offline traffic to your bricks and mortar store, grow a Facebook group, that's a strategy you could go with, generate leads, generate sales, sell tickets to an event, improve customer service. Now, I'm not saying that all of this is possible with just organic. You might need to, well, you will need to pay to really get that off the ground, but you can do a lot organically. So be really focused on what your objective is, and make sure that when you are posting that you're meeting you're posting with one of your objectives in mind, so it's got purpose. Define your ideal client. That is super important, because if you're just putting something out there and you're not really talking to anybody, then you're it's no good. You're not going to get any traction. Okay, so what I do every time I write a post, I get my ideal client in my head and I imagine I'm actually having a conversation with them. I give them a name. I've got 2 or 3 ideal clients. That's your client avatar. If you haven't done that work, I highly recommend doing it. Right down to which websites they visit, have they got kids, have they got time, what time do they have disposable income or not, what do they like to interact with, you know, try and do that research, talk to your ideal clients and figure out everything you can about them. and speak to them every time you post. Okay. So the next thing you need to do is make sure that your Facebook page is set up for success, because it's actually like another sort of landing page. Think of it as a landing page, as a mini website. So when people land there, they see your page and they think, oh yeah, this really resonates with me. I want to hang out here. I want to follow this page. I want to make sure that it comes up in my feed. So if people are landing in your page and they're not doing that and they're not following you, then your page isn't speaking to the people in the way that you'd want it to, really. So there's a few things you can do here. Cover photo or video, make sure it really speaks to your ideal client. So make it less about you and your business and more about the problem that you solve, or whatever it is that's going to resonate with your client, your ideal client, and make them go, oh yeah. You need to check that it looks good on desktop and mobile. Now, I Google this every time I change my profile picture, because it's always changing, but the size required for desktop and the size required for mobile are different, which is ridiculous, but it is true. And I hope the person's not here at the moment, but the Isle of Man government page at the moment, where the coronavirus updates is not optimized for mobile. It's cut off at the edges, and but it's perfect on desktop. So that's an example. And actually you're missing out there, aren't you? If you've not got a really clear cover photo, then that's kind of missing out and getting another way to get your message across. You can add a call to action into your cover photo, encouraging people to click it. And then in the details, you can put a link. I'll show you, I've done that on mine, so I'll show you that in a minute. That's another way to have another call to action on your page. Tabs and CTA buttons. So tabs, I'll show you, I'm going to hop over to Facebook in a minute and show you this. The tabs are the about, events, reviews, those things. And you can order those depending on what's most important for you as a business. And I would optimize those and review them regularly, because at different times of the year, you might have different things that you want showing up there. The CTA button is the call to action button. That's the thing that you want people to do. That's the blue button on your Facebook page. You can change that. I change it all the time, depending on what I'm doing in the quarter or the month. So make sure you review that and make sure it makes sense for your business. The about section, make sure you review it regularly, because most people set this up in a hurry when they first set up a Facebook page and then never look at it again. It's a really good opportunity for you to tell clients how you solve their problems. So make sure it's up to date. At the moment, I don't know if you've noticed, but that used to be the Facebook story. Now, I'm not talking about the portrait stories that go at the top of the feed. I'm talking about the Facebook story. It used to have a big image. You put a load of information, your story, basically, your business story, and you could put external links in there. It was search engine optimized. So when people Googled, it could get picked up for keywords in there. That's going out this month, actually. No, where are we? February, next month it's going. And there's a new section in the about section called additional information or something. So that's moving over. So make sure you get that sorted in the next couple of weeks. And I'm not sure actually if it's still going to be optimized for keywords, but it's worth getting them in there, isn't it? Because why not? Okay, because it's still important. Content. This is the fourth thing. When people come onto your page, they're going to have a quick flick through your last few posts. So if they're great quality, if they really talk to your ideal client, then they're going to go, oh yeah, this content's really good. If it's adding value in some way and it's not just salesy, which is kind of boring, then they're going to want to stay. They're going to want to hang around. Okay. So you can also pin a post to the top of your page, review that regularly. At the moment, if you're a bricks and mortar and you're thinking of opening up again next week, there is still a lot of apprehension on the island. So I'd be telling people how you've got things put in place to keep them safe, and how, you know, you're thinking of them or whatever. Or at the moment, you've got this last week, is there still ways that people can buy from you even though you're not open? So be thinking about those as your pinned post. You want the information to be as accessible as possible. You want to make it easy for people to buy from you. So I'm going to hop over to Facebook now to show you just a couple of those things, and then I'll take some questions. Okay, so I'm on this is my Facebook page just here. And you can see, I'm just going to make this a bit bigger. Now, it's not very clear, but can you see it says click to claim free Facebook health check? So if I click on that, it says grab your free Facebook page health check here, and there's a link, and I click on that, and it takes people to my free health check. And this is one of my lead magnets. So this is how I'm getting people off of Facebook. I'm getting their email list so that I can not just rely on Facebook. So that's something you can do. So all you do to do that is edit, and then you just put in the details of, you know, it's just like the details on a photo. So that's quite a clever ploy. Now I've made it bigger and I can't get out of it. Oh, how do I get out? Oh gosh, sorry guys. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, it's all going horribly wrong. Let's just do that. Are you still there? Don't get frustrated with me. Well, you can do. Okay, so what were the other things? So this is where you can edit the visit group. My call to action, you can always view it as a visitor. By the way, I do everything on desktop because I find it so much more functionality. I don't really use mobile very often because I find it's much easier on desktop. So if there are some of you who just use mobile, I think there is a lot of this functionality, but I'm just much more au fait with doing it this way. I just much prefer it. You can view as a visitor. Can you see that there? So I'm going to click on that. So this is how my visitors will see. So they'll see that visit group button. So at the moment, I want people to go to my group and join my group because I find that I get a lot more engagement in my group compared to my page. A really good analogy, if you're interested in Facebook groups, is that the Facebook page acts as the shop front, and the Facebook group is kind of like the party in the back garden where people are a bit more open, they're a bit more willing to chat, because it's not as public facing, it's closed off, you see. So they say the magic happens in the group. Now my group is good, but I still haven't got people asking as many questions as I would like. So I go live every week, but it's not buzzing yet. I'm trying to get it more buzzy. But so feel free to make it more buzzy if you've got questions, by the way. So I'm going to exit view as, and that edit visit group, I click on that, I edit button, and I get a bunch of stuff here, and I choose which makes most sense for me at the time. So if it's that I want people to book an appointment, and then I change it to that. If I want them to follow me, then I change it to that. It's going to be default to follow soon, actually, because page likes are going, in case you didn't know that, which is not a problem because most people follow you anyway, so it's fine. Send message, a lot of people will have that as their button, and send email, etc. So make sure that makes sense and review it regularly. These are the tabs that I was talking about. Can you see it says home, reviews, services? So click on my services, and I've got all of my services laid out here. So that's another place that you can put that information. So go in and edit those, add a service, make it nice. See these little icons here? I made them dead easily in Canva, which is a free tool. You can pay, I pay for it actually about, I don't know, £9 a month. It's brilliant, but make lovely little branded service things. Here's all the other tabs. Now, if I was running a lot of events, I would want that events to be showing here. If I was really focused on video content, I would want that video tab to be showing up here. So what makes most sense for your business? You can edit that if you go to settings on the left-hand side, and then if you go to templates and tabs on the left-hand side, then all you do is you just drag it up, and then that should save, and then we'll go back, and hopefully, yeah, there it is, groups. It's moved up. So make sure that they make sense for you. The about section is in your setting. There's a few places you can get to about section actually. You can probably go through here and you can edit here. So the add additional information, that's going to be the thing that takes over from the story, I believe. So make sure that that's all up to date. So it's definitely worthwhile giving your profile a review, checking it makes sense on mobile and on desktop. So I always go and check it on mobile as well, and just making sure that it's as good as it can be. Oh, present. Okay, right, questions. So we've got any questions? Let me see, there's some in the chat here. What is the, oh, Desmond, let me have a look. Are you talking organic daft, but can you change fonts? Can you change fonts on Debs? Do you mean, can you change fonts when you're writing the copy, the words on the post? Because yes, there is a tool you can use Bex, can you take that question? Just double check with Debs Gwinnell that she means the font in the copy. And I will, after this, I will send a link to a tool that I use to change copy.
Yeah, that's fine, Kirsty. I'll do that for you. Yeah, if you tell me the link, I'll pop the link in the chat now for everyone.
Or I'll have to go and search for it, so I'll have to send it to you afterwards. But that's okay, because I've got I'm going to send you a checklist to send to everybody afterwards as well. So if that's okay.
Yeah, Deb says she does mean how do you change the font in Facebook posts?
Cool. Yeah, I will send a tool for that. Debs from Typhoon has asked about Facebook stories. What have you asked, Debs from Typhoon? What is the difference between likes and followers? Also, how does encouraging folks to check in? How does that work? Difference between likes and followers is that you can choose to like. It's not much difference really. So it's actually been a very confusing feature that they've been allowed you to do both. You can like a page, but you don't have to follow it, which is frustrating. Or you can follow a page, but you don't have to like it. So really, it's a bit of a crazy anomaly, and they're getting rid of it. So don't worry about it. It's all just going to be follows like it is on Twitter and on Instagram. Yes, I do. How do I know if people are looking at my business site? That's a really good question, Maria, and I'm going to come to that in a minute.
Kirsty, we have quite a few questions on the Q&A if you can access it, but if you can't, don't worry, I'm copying them over.
Oh, right, I've got it here. Right, Lydia, I'd like to set up a page that is for business, not attached to my personal page. Therefore, do I set another personal? I will have staff, so I want my own privacy. Yeah, no, oh, Lydia, that's funny. Right, Lydia is asking about setting up. So, Lydia wants to know about setting up a Facebook page that's not attached to her personal account. There is no way you can do that. You have to have a personal profile attached to a page. It's the way it works. Do not fall into the trap of setting up a fake profile, because it doesn't show it. It doesn't have to show anywhere. If you set it up properly, it doesn't have to show anywhere that your personal profile is linked to a page. You can hide that fact. And if you want help with that, then get someone to take you through how to do that. That's absolutely fine. But you do have to, and what you can do is, it used to be that in the old days, you had to be friends with anybody that you wanted to make an admin on your page. You don't have to do that now. You set up a business manager, which is this house that I talked about earlier. And that house houses all of your Facebook assets. And that could be a Facebook page, it could be a Facebook ad account. And then you pull people into your house, into the business manager, and you allocate them roles. So you say, I want Kerry to be a page admin, but I don't want her to have access to the ad account. And then I want Tom to just have editor rights on the page. So he doesn't have full admin rights, he just has editor rights. He can just write posts. Do you know what I mean? So you can, the business manager is designed exactly for that, so that you don't have to cross over between your personal profile, and you can really manage the roles that people have. So setting up business manager is the best way to do that, Lydia. I can no longer answer my inbox from my Facebook page, but instead I have to go into, yeah, a lot of people are having this issue with this new business suite, Penelope, and it is very, very frustrating. I can give you, I will send a URL that I use to go into it. I don't have Business Suite because I've not set it up on my desktop, and it's not been rolled out to me for some reason, which is great because I don't want it. And I managed just to do everything through the old Facebook. So I don't really have that problem. But I don't know if you're talking about on your phone or if you're talking about on your desktop. On your phone, if you download the Business Suite app, it should work now. You have to log in a couple of times, but you should be able to access from there. And then in terms of your business page, if I just go to my home, so if I go here and if I just search Kirsty Lawrence social media manager, and then I just click into my page there, I have everything I need here, and that's not Business Suite, but I don't know if anybody else has that. If you do, that's the way to do it. If you don't, I need to get under the bonnet really to understand the best way. And what I would do once I found that way is I would add it to my favorites bar. so that, can you see here, I've got Facebook login here, that's my business manager there, that's my wider business settings. I would favorite it and add a shortcut into my thing once I figured it out. So without going into detail, I'm not sure, because I don't have it myself, I'm not sure how to do that. So I'm really sorry, that's not terribly helpful. I've forgotten who asked that question. Let me see. Penelope. Deb Squinnell, I'm not great at stories on Facebook. Can you help? Debs, are you coming on the Instagram masterclass on Wednesday? Because I'm going to be going into stories quite a lot on Wednesday with Instagram. And what I do is I make all my stories on Instagram and I double them over, because I find the interface a lot more user-friendly. I don't really set them up in Facebook page, so I'm not really going to go into that today. But in my free group, I will also be doing some little free tutorials on stories in there in the future as well. But definitely on Wednesday, I'm going to go into that. So hopefully that will help you. How do I set up a shop on Facebook? Can people buy direct and pay through PayPal? Okay, shops on Facebook are not my zone of genius. It's a whole other area. You absolutely can, and you should, if you have products, set up a Facebook shop. You can link it to, if you've got Shopify, for example, or WooCommerce, you can link it all in. And it's a really powerful way of selling across and here. Like, it's brilliant. You can just do it. And so you can, again, if you want to get massive reach, you can run ads, which you can set them up to optimize for purchase. So people will buy through your thing. It's brilliant. So you absolutely should do it, but it's not something I can go into right now, because it would literally, I can put you in touch with somebody who can help you do it if you like, but it's not something I can talk about just now. Sorry, Nadine, or Nadine. Dylan, Kirsty, is there a way to, hi Dylan, is there a way to schedule organic posts on a Monday morning, for example, via Business Manager, or does this need to be done? I'm going to show you how to do that, Dylan, today. I'm going to show you how to do it. Jordan, could you please expand on the concept of the call to action button? So the concept of that, Jordan, is every single post, and I'm going to talk about this later as well, every single post and everywhere you can on your website, you should always have a really clear call to action. And that is the thing that you most want people to do at this moment in time. So on a post, it might be that you want them to engage on the post. So you figure out the call to action to make them engage on the post. Or it might be that you want them to visit the website. So the call to action is visit the website for more information. On the call for action button, which is on your Facebook page, the blue button I was just talking about, that could be, if whatever your business objective is, you want it to be aligned with that. So if you want more calls, then it should be book a call. And then on your post, you could be saying you can book a call via here and send people to your profile, and then they click the call to action button there. Or it could be that you want them to send you a message. So because that's the way that people start their interaction with you as a company, they send you a Facebook message. So it makes most sense for that to be send message. So have a think about your business objectives, have a think about how people currently get in touch with you and what works best. And that's going to inform what that call to action needs to be. Hopefully that helps. Hayley, how do I make the click on photo to get email addresses? So you'd need to make a lead magnet first, Hayley. That's off of Facebook. You would need to set up a lead magnet. So that's a landing page that has a form where they fill in their details, and then when they fill that in, you've got a sort of automation set up to send them something, like a valuable thing, like a checklist is what I did, or a video tutorial, or whatever it is. And to do that, you just click on the photo and add details. I think it is. You just click and then details. Have a play around. You should be able to figure that out, hopefully. My list at the side is huge, so I can't see my page. How can I? Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure about that, Lydia. I'd have to see that. Maybe take a screenshot and put it into the group or something, and I'll have a look at that. But I'm not really sure what you mean there. I'm sorry. Lindsay, can I ask how you put the wording onto your cover that you just showed? And I've also noticed my message now button doesn't show on mobile, but it does on desktop. Oh, I don't know about the mobile button not showing. And the wording on my cover, I just made a cover photo in Canva, which this is Canva, by the way, that I'm using right now. It's a graphic tool for non-graphic designers, but it's really great to get your head around. What are your thoughts on the like, comment, share competitions run by business? It's actually against their terms of service, Callum, so be careful if you're doing those. If you Google Facebook's competition rules, you'll see that it's against the terms of service to ask people to tag or to share. You can't tap into people's personal profiles in that way. So I think they're great. I think competitions are great when they're run aligned with Facebook's terms of service. I think they're really powerful, especially if you boost them and get them right. A good way to do it is get people commenting. That's a really good way to do a competition. My products are mainly B2B. I can see the value of LinkedIn, but struggle with Facebook. If you don't think your audience is on Facebook, then you don't have to use it. I mean, I use it. I find it really works because I've got a community where I help people with questions. And if you can make that kind of thing work for you, Leslie, then that's great. If that's what you want to do, but you've got to invest the time in that. So it all comes down to what time you've got available. If LinkedIn is working for you and you're generating leads off there and you don't need to use Facebook, then you don't need to use Facebook. You know, you don't have to be everywhere. But I've made B2B work for me through having a community where I help people. And by putting out valuable content. I'm going to talk about content in a minute. So yeah, it's one to test. If you want to test a new way with value content and maybe a group, then great, if you've got the time to do that. But if not, stick to LinkedIn is what I would say. My boss wants me to set up a business page. I can set this up to my personal, but what happens if I leave the company? That's a really great question. This is why you need to set things up in Business Manager for especially corporates. Set it up, get a couple of people on as admin and have it all set up in the Business Manager. And then when you leave, they just take you out and there's other people in there to keep that going. So that's how it should be set up. You shouldn't just have one person because you're left, you know, if somebody hacks, then you're stuck. So yeah, to always bring in definitely one other person who can be an admin on that page. Katrina, could you just go over the basics of navigating around the business Facebook pages, controls, etc.? I'm going to show you how to set up some posts just now, Katrina. Hopefully that will help you. It is accessing my inbox on my phone app. Yeah, these little anomalies of stuff that's going wrong, it's going to be very hard for me to diagnose, I'm afraid, just now. Sorry, I don't know quick answers without getting under the bonnet and coming and sitting on a Zoom and seeing a specific thing. So hopefully that's answered a few questions. Okay, so present. I'm just going to take a sip of water. Oh. Okay, so this is for people who are just brand new to Facebook, who haven't got a clue how to get going, have got this page, they don't know if anyone can see it or not, they don't know if anyone's coming to it or not. I'm just going to give you a few tips. Okay, some businesses, as Leslie just highlighted, are going to fly more quickly and better on Facebook than other businesses. Okay, if you're in the pet industry, then you need to be on Facebook. If you're in the cookery industry, you need to be on Facebook. You know, all these things, gardening, all these things, these sort of hobbies and things, if you've got anything like that, Facebook is definitely the place for you. They are going to absolutely fly. B2B stuff is going to be trickier, but you can make it work if you can be clever. Although you need to get a bit creative. So I definitely get in brainstorming with some creative people to get you some great ideas. But here are some strategies to test if you've got a brand new page. First of all, if you've got a page on Facebook, please do not assume that people are just going to see it, because they're not. You have to get people to the page. And if you're not posting, and if you haven't got anybody to like the page, then nobody's going to see the content. And there's absolutely no point you being there because people can't see you. So you have to figure out a way to get people to your profile. So the first thing you can do is you can utilize your personal connections on Facebook. So you can, and I'll show you how to, I'm just going to make a little list now because I'll show you how to do it. You can invite your friends to like your page. Okay, that's the first thing you can do. So if you've got lots of friends on Facebook or any friends at all on Facebook, go and invite them to like your page. Now I put an exclamation mark here because there's a couple of things here to be aware of. You're not really, it's against Facebook's terms of service to use Facebook personal profiles to sell. It's against their terms of service. So you see a lot of people, clever people doing it where they're sort of talking in around their expertise and their area, but they're not necessarily selling. That's quite clever to do that. So what you can do though is you can share, if you do a post on your Facebook page, you can then share that post into your personal network. And then some people will see it, hopefully, and come over and support. You can invite them to like as well, and they'll come over to support you. Now, if you've got an idea to grow really big, then you don't just want your friends to follow because they're potentially not going to be your customers, but you do want to leverage them to begin with to get a little bit of traction to get going. You need them to help you. So hopefully that makes sense, and I'll show you in a minute what that looks like. You can utilize groups. So go and join as in your personal profile. Some groups allow you to join as your page. So when you join, you'll maybe get offered a drop down to choose whether you join as a person or as a page. I generally join as a person. And what I do is I join marketing groups in the UK that is full of, full of marketers. And quite often they'll be asking questions. And if there's a question that I can answer, I answer the question. I don't put a sales link. I don't do anything like, I just answer the question for them. Now, if I do that enough and I get seen enough in that group, people may start to come over and look at my personal profile. My personal profile has a link to my business page on it. And so it's all kind of aligned. So if people are discovering me as a person, they'll have a look at my about section, they'll see my Facebook page, and they'll go over to that if they're interested. So it's about that sort of journey. So that's another thing you can do. The reason I've got an exclamation mark and utilizing groups is what I do see a lot of is people just sharing their post into a group, come and buy my stuff, come and buy my stuff, come and buy my stuff. And they'll maybe do it every day, and it's really spammy. It's not a way to get people on side, because people just don't like being sold to. They want value, they want entertainment, they want inspiration. Sometimes you might get lucky, and it might, I'm not saying don't ever do that. Of course you should do it now and again, try it, test it, see if it works. It's all about testing, but I wouldn't do it all the time because it is pretty spammy. So I hope that makes sense. Once you have got a bit of a following and you can get any engagement on your posts, you can boost those posts if they get engagement. I wouldn't waste money boosting a post that doesn't get engagement, because putting money behind it isn't going to make it get engagement. It might get it to see more people, but it doesn't mean it's a terribly good post. And then the other thing you can do is you can use the Facebook ads platform, which I'm not going to talk about today, but it is very, very powerful. And if you want to get a business up and running on Facebook fast, then I say you have to use the Facebook ads platform, unless you've got some particularly kind of virally crazy content, which you can do without ads. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. I'm just going to hop over quickly into Facebook to show you. So if I go to my, first of all, can you see these three little dots? And then I can see here, it says invite friends. So then I can just go and I've never done this because I'm a bit embarrassed. Because I'm a bit of a wally. I'm like too embarrassed to ask people to come and follow me, but don't do that because I'm just a wally. Don't follow my lead. Do it. Go and utilize your connections, because the people will want to support you. And actually a lot of my friends did follow me because they're lovely, and they really do come and engage on my comment, on my posts, and they give you a boost in those early days. So please do that. Go and invite your friends to like. What else was I going to show you? I was going to show you my personal profile. How can I do that? Kirsty, can you see? Oh, there we go. So this is my personal profile. That's my son who's driving me crazy, just in case you want to know that. But look, there's my website just there. Intro, social media consultant at Kirsty Lawrence, social media marketer. There's my page. I've linked it. Excuse me, so people can come and find me. Some people go even further and put their business banner up here. You can do that, or just, tell people how they can get in touch with you if they want to. So that's another thing that you can do just to get you off the ground in those early days. Okay, I've got some questions, it looks like. How do I know if people are, oh, I've done that. I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to show you that. How many hashtags are too many? Darren Ward, that's a good question. Hashtags on Facebook are fairly new. I mean, they've been around for a long, long time, but they have never taken off because of the privacy settings on Facebook. So they haven't worked in the same way as they did on Twitter or on Instagram. However, now they are pushing it. And so I recommend no more than 3. And also don't put hashtags in the middle of a sentence because it makes it really hard to read. Put them at the end, keep them nice and tidy. I haven't tried creating a Facebook story yet. Is it worth it as a business? Definitely. Debs is brilliant for behind the scenes content, depending on what your business is, but it's brilliant. If you're coming on the Instagram workshop, I'll show you how I use stories over there. How can I delete a post? Maria, you can delete a post like this. I'll show you right now. This is my recent post here. I hit the 3 little dots. You can edit it, you can delete it there. So 3 little dots, delete post. Okay. Use the same menu options as I use. Sorry. Do stories appear on the business pages? Stories appear at the top. If you go into your Facebook app just now, remembering that most people follow Facebook, access Facebook on their phone. If you just go into the app just now, stories are appearing across the top. They're they've got like a little blue circle on them. Can you see them, Darren? Simon, I found Facebook are being a lot more restrictive on what posts they will boost. Anything that offers prizes or encourages people to share, it seems. Yeah, I mean, Simon, that has actually been the case for a long, long time, but people have just been getting away with it. So you just need to be making sure that you're following their, it's against their terms of service to ask people to share a post. It's against their terms of service to ask people to tag their friends. So if it's doing any of those things, it won't let you boost. I didn't know they brought that in. That's really good. Usually I would tell people they shouldn't do it and they do it anyway. And if they got caught, they would have their whole account shut down. So yeah, it's good that they're stopping it. Can I delete posts? Is Facebook app free on your mobile? Yes, Facebook app is free on your mobile, Maria. You can just download it from your app store. Be careful competitions as you can fall foul of the gambling laws in the Isle of Man. Oh yes, you should always, Darren, that's a really good point. You should always have terms and conditions as well for a competition and make sure that it is following the rules of the jurisdiction. Clicking the 3 dots. Oh, thank you, Becca. Doesn't boosting a post always help with research, with reach, as well as part of brand awareness? So sometimes engagement's not always. Yeah, it can do, Darren, for sure. I just find it doesn't. Lydia, you don't get the option to edit or delete. I'm not sure what's happening there. I'm sorry. Okay, let's move on. Just about how often and when you post, okay? But if you can be consistent, it really helps. So consistency is key, but don't overcommit. So don't say, right, I'm going to post on Facebook every single day. If that is impossible for you, like, don't set yourself up for failure. If you've got no resource, if it's just you, you're able to do it, then yes, you can, but still only post daily if you think you can see the return on investment on that, because actually I just kind of recommend 3 posts a week now, and then I boost or I run ads in between. So just that running ads kind of, it's like you can either put the time in organically or you can put the money in, and it kind of can get you the same results, and time is money, right? So you've got to make that call. What time to post? Now they have just removed the feature to where you can see this. I'm going to hop into insights in a minute. There's a lot of privacy stuff going on at the moment. I don't know if it's part of that. It used to be that you could tell when people are online. I'll go and see if it's back now when we hop into insights and see, but if not, it's about testing. And I find it's going to be different for every business. I find for me, 7 p.m. on a weeknight works. Sunday nights are brilliant. Try that. But it's all about testing and looking at the analytics and figuring out what's working for your business. Consistent. So test a time for like 3 to 4 weeks. Test a schedule. So say, right, we're going to post Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 a.m. or midday, whatever it is, for 3 weeks, and we'll see how we go. And then we're going to swap it up and we'll test posting at 6 p.m. for 2 or 3 weeks and see which gets you the best results. So it is all about testing. Test, measure, refine, that little circle at the bottom. It's all about that. And you never stop testing, because things are always changing as well. People's habits are always changing. In lockdown, people's habits are very different from when we're out of lockdown. So be aware of that as well. Check your insights. I can't put that home enough. Is that the word? It's really important to check your insights. Okay. Look at your insights, consider investment, and set some KPIs. So key performance indicators. What results do you want to see to make you think that you're getting the results out of Facebook that warrant the time and the money and the effort and the energy that you're putting into it? Is it worthwhile for your business? Is it working? So let's hop over to Facebook again. What's next? Yeah, I'll come back to that. Okay. Is this okay, Bex? Am I going too fast, or is it all okay?
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks, Kirsty. Keep going.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Insights. So here I am on my Facebook page. Insights for me at the moment, I think there's like 8,000 different versions of Facebook in operation at one single time. So there's very high potential that we've got a different version. Maria, you asked, how can you tell if people are seeing your Facebook page? So go into Insights, which was on the left-hand side there. And you can see here it says page views. That's where you can see how many people have actually landed on your Facebook page. And it's not often very high, this figure, unless you've got that brilliant kind of content. You know, unless you're sharing the value content around pets or cookery or whatever it is, and people are coming back. Or for me at the moment, I'm always going over to the government page to see how many new cases of coronavirus there have been today. So unless you've got people specifically coming to your page for a reason, maybe they're coming to see if you're open. So if you've got like a restaurant, you might see this higher. If you know, you can understand then if people are coming over, and if they're coming over, you want to have that information ready for them, don't you? Know, opening hours, all of that stuff. So make sure if you're a bricks and mortar business, you've got that information, because it's the first place I go as a punter to find out, is Marks and Spencer's open? What time's it open? I go to Facebook. A lot of people do that. So make sure all that information is there. But yeah, that's where you can see that information. And you want all of these to be green, as in an improvement on last week. This is good. I'm pleased. I've got improvement. So that's that. The other one I always look at is on the left-hand side. So that's the overview. And you can change this, by the way, last 7 days, last 28 days. These days I look at the last 28 days, really, just because I kind of know now what works for me. It took me a while. Posts, left-hand side. This is where it used to tell me when my fans are online, but it's gone. Can you see that at the top? Now, I don't know if that's something to do with privacy. So it'll be interesting to see if that comes back. But that's when I used to be able to look at that and go, right, okay, most of my fans are online at sort of 7 o'clock in the evening. That's when I'm going to post. So keep an eye on that if it comes back. If not, it's going to be testing and guessing, I'm afraid. Or you might have other intel. So here's all of my posts. Now, somebody was saying before that photo posts work well for them. So that's great. You can actually see, if you click here, can you see where it says post types? You can see which posts work best. So photo also gets more reach for me, interestingly. Status posts, that's when you just post and you put like a little color behind it. You don't have an image or anything. They do really well for me, like question posts. Videos, links, that's external links. Now, something for you to know, Facebook do not like you leaving the platform. So don't put links all the time, because you're trying to make Facebook work for you. Facebook also particularly dislike people who link to YouTube, because YouTube is their biggest competitor and they want to be better than YouTube. They want to be the main video platform. So if you put a link to YouTube, it's not going to fly. It's not going to do very well. However, I've had really good success growing YouTube channels via Facebook ads, where I do a little snippet of the video, and then the call to action button is watch more, and that watch more button takes them to video and takes them to YouTube. They don't mind, Facebook don't mind if you're paying them to send people to YouTube, but they won't do it for free. So that's interesting, isn't it? The other thing is they don't like bit.ly links, definitely not in ads, and even on organically, because it hides, it kind of takes away, there's no transparency with a bit.ly link. So Facebook don't like that. So don't use them. Link shorteners, don't use them. Oh yeah, so with YouTube, if you can get the native video and upload that to Facebook, that's going to do way better for you than a YouTube link. Just a top tip there. So the other thing I look at is engagement rate. So can you see this little button here at the right hand side? I drop that down, get my engagement rate. And I want that to, for me personally, I want that to be above 4. If I'm getting it above 4, remember, average is 0.98. But if I get it above 4 for my post and my client's post, then I'm delighted, especially because I'm B2B. And if you're B2C and you've got really great content, then you're going to have that much higher. So I just take a look down here. I see what's working. I note what time I've posted. So that was 7:54 a.m. That was 7:10 at night. And I just figure out what's working best for my business. And it's funny, some things, what worked really well for me recently? Oh, it was Harry and Meghan are coming off social media. So it's kind of related, but it was very relevant. It was something that came out. I saw it, I thought, well, that would be a good thing to post. And it did really well. So it's interesting to people there. It's not me selling myself. Selling myself, that sounds really wrong. Move on swiftly. So anyway, hopefully you're going to go into your insights. You're going to understand what's working. You can see, look, 247 people that reached. That was a good one. Oh, that's about these workshops. But really, I'm not reaching anywhere near all of my followers with my posts. But I understand that. I recognize that. I'm okay with that. If I want to reach them all, I'll run an ad or I'll run a boost. But I know that I've got 380 followers, I think. 69 people I reach with that. So really be aware of how many people you're reaching. Okay. Here are some things to consider when you're setting up your KPIs. How engaged is your audience? Look for 4% or more. Page views, are people seeing your posts and visiting your page or seeking your page out? Are you meeting your objectives? So not just the Facebook ones, but are you growing an engaged audience? Are you getting more leads? Are you getting more traffic? Is it worthwhile? What's your weekly reach? What actions are people taking? That's actions on page, it's video views, likes, comments, shares. Just be really aware of it. And are you getting the results that you want that are feeding into your Facebook objectives? Okay, we're going to move on to content now. Have we got any questions? Let's have a quick look in here. 12. Oh, thank you. Sorry, just get a cup of tea. You can't see anyone, but do you want to just wave?
Come on,
okay, off you go. Thanks so much. Right, questions, sorry. Chat. Okay. Oh wow, we always use Bitly. Right. What do you see when you press the 3 dots? Oh gosh. Do you know, a lot of people are having this question with Business Suite and old Facebook, Jessica. So I will find out for you, okay? Because I think a lot of people are having the same issue. I will ask my mastermind and I'll find out how people have got around that. I can't see stories on my business page on the app. No, you don't see stories in your business page in the app. You see stories on your personal page. So if you just go into the normal app, not the Pages app, not the Business Suite app, just the blue app, that's where you'll see them, Darren. Okay. How do you revert? Sorry, I'm just scrolling through these questions. Save place, turn on notifications, embed, find support or report. Oh, somebody's helping somebody there, I think. I'm getting content not found when I click insights. Oh, really, Jill? How many followers do you have, Jill? Because if you haven't got 100, that might be why. Phone does include edit, but not delete. Oh, yeah, Lydia, I would try it on desktop. Yes, you're right, Rebecca. If you've not got the admin rights, you might not have the ability. More gives me page insights activity. Yes, page insights, that's what you want to go to. Is a boost better or an ad? Graham Jones, that's the $1 million question. I am going to cover that briefly later on. I don't have insights. I'm completely left behind at the moment, but I'm very happy to go through the video again. Oh, Lydia, I'm sorry. Do you know, Lydia, if I can help, jump into my group and ask some questions, and I will try and do some like beginner sessions, some free beginner sessions in the group, just to try and cover that off. And what is the best length for a Facebook video? That's a great question, Debs. It's not really about the length, it's about the quality. So you want to make sure that you start off with giving value straight away, rather than kind of going, oh, hi, I'm so-and-so and I do this. And people don't want to know, they just want to get straight to the value. So if you can get that, nail that, really hold people's attention. But, you know, a minute and a half, people are really time poor. So unless you're like, I don't know, giving people tips on DIY to how to change a plug, I don't know, something like that, you know, they're going to be longer. But it depends what it is, what your video is about. Is it going to be something that people want to watch? They're going to hang around for it. If you're dropping value and you're known for dropping value, they're going to hang around for it. But if you're just kind of talking fluff and nonsense, they're not going to want to. So it really depends on the quality. Yeah, business pages around 8,500. So would you hope for around 340 engagement? Oh, I can't even do the maths in my head, Simon. But yeah, I would be hoping that for bigger pages, it depends how engaged your audience is. You might have to do the work to get them back engaged again. What is it that they engage with? If you're getting that engagement already, brilliant. Yeah, but I would be hoping. Business manager only shows one of my 3 pages. How do I add the others? Theo, give me a shout one day when this is all over, and I'll come around and see. I'll come around and see Rose. She can give me some wine and I'll show you how to do it. But basically, business manager, you have to pull pages in. So when you're into your business manager, go into your settings, go into left-hand side where it says pages and add a page and pull it in. That's how you bring them in. We've set up our business Facebook page, not using our real profiles. So bad. Will this mean our page won't reach? No, it won't. But what it does do, Facebook don't like fake profiles because they're all about authenticity and transparency. And so the risk you have if you've set up with fake profiles is that Facebook will just come across that, realize it's fake, and just close it all down. That's the risk you have. So I would be setting it up with real people. Now, it might trigger something when you start to do that. They'll start to see, oh, they're adding people, what's going on here? And that might also result in you getting closed down. It's a really tricky one. But that's why you have to set it up correctly from the start. Get rid of those, don't set it up with fake profiles and make sure it's all real. So yeah, it would be interesting to see that set up, and I can't really advise you any further on that. So I don't know your name. The person is anonymous. Katrina, how are ads different from events? Events are not ads at all. Ads are like you set up an ad and it's got a purpose, whether that's brand awareness or conversions or purchases, whatever it is. An event is an event where you give people all the information. So Bex would have set this up as an event, and it would tell people where, what time, how to get the link, all the information. And then you can boost that event or take that event into an ad if you want. But the event is very much like a place to have an event on Facebook, if that makes sense. In terms of the content, is it better to use photos with faces or videos compared to posters? Yeah, less words and letters is definitely better. It used to be that you couldn't boost or run an ad with an image that had more than 20% text. They have now removed that rule. However, they look so spammy when you see like an image with loads of text in it, and then you've got loads of text for the copy as well. It just doesn't make sense. So use your copy for your text and use your image to like resonate with the ideal client, with the copy, with the headline, and make that stand out in a different way. Because yeah, people either act with images or they react to copy. But if you've got copy and image in one place, but you do need some copy. You can have some copy, although you can have none. But yeah, I would say definitely better to have people as well are good in photos, and actually more authentic the better. Works really well. So that's why user generated content works really well, because it's really authentic. If you can get people who are in your restaurant taking photos and tagging you, share that. If you can get people who are in your shop buying stuff, trying stuff on, and they're happy for you to share it, share that. Or people have bought your online product and they're trying it out at home and they've shared it on social, and that's great. That's user generated content, and it's great to share that because it's really authentic. What is the difference between boosting and ads? That's a great question. I'm going to cover that soon, Debs. Business managers not allowed to boost any posts, but other admins can. A lot of people, Andrea, have had their ad ability disabled recently because Facebook is cracking down on all sorts of stuff. So it might be something to do with that. But again, without getting under the bonnet for you, I couldn't tell you. I'm sorry. It could be numerous different reasons. Was set with a fake profile. Is there a way to change this, or we stuck with this? Amber, you can change it. You can pull some people in. It might impact, but if you've got real people in there, and I say this very hesitantly because I don't like advising when I can't see a setup. But if you've got other people in there as admins in the business manager, you should be okay to remove that original person, as long as all the people, all the assets have got somebody assigned to it as an admin, and there's admins in the business manager. Okay, I'm going to move on. So content. I'm just going to take a sip of my coffee. Everything you want is waiting for you on the other side of consistency. I don't know who said this, but it is so true. And if you can nail your content strategy to get it dead clear in your head, that each week you're not sitting down and going, what am I going to post on social media this week? Then you'll get consistent. So if you know what you're going to post, it makes things much easier. If you're in the situation where you've got loads of events happening, or you've got loads of information going out, you're in a different situation. It's not as key. But if you're a sort of, you know, you're selling services and you kind of know that you should be on social, you don't really know what to do, hopefully this is going to help you get a bit more consistent. So I pulled in this table. I've kind of done so many workshops myself, so much learning myself. I've tried to pull it from all sorts of places and put it in one thing. The really key thing is that every single post should educate or inspire or entertain. Another one I've heard is motivate. So ask yourself when you're posting, is my post either educating, inspiring, or entertaining? If you're information dropping, it's kind of a different thing, but do you know what I mean? If it's not, oh, by the way, every now and again, of course, you do need to sell as well. So don't forget about that. I always forget to sell. Try and do one of those three things, okay? Now, the other things that you need to do is your post real-time relevant? So do you remember my Harry and Meghan post? Anybody who has got an ideal client that is me, so kind of early 40s, wants some escapism, and you're kind of a fun brand, maybe a sort of female-oriented brand, then real-time relevant for you at the moment would be Bridgerton every step of the way. If you can get in a Bridgerton post, I think it would do really well. Brand relevant or relevant to your customers. So one of those three things, but it's kind of got to be relevant to what you're selling or relevant to your ideal client. Do you know what I mean? So think about that, one of those three things for each post. And also ask yourself, is this post going to build the brand? So it's maybe expertise, it's education, or it's inspiration, or it's motivation. Is it going to grow your brand? So is it going to encourage shares or loads of reach because it's a really clever post? Or is it going to sell your brand? So that's, you know, selling products in some way. This is kind of, if you can do one from each row with each post, then that's really good. But if you're at least getting one from the whole chart, that's a start. So hopefully that's helpful. Content strategy. So you need to develop a bit of a plan. Strategy is obviously a super fancy word, but just develop a bit of a plan. Revisit your ideal client. What are the problems that your business solves for them? What do they want? What do they desire? Do they want more time? Do they want to stop feeling overwhelmed? Do they want to feel more calm in their life? Do they want to make something happen quicker because they achieve a certain thing? You know, what is it that you can do for them that is going to help them get the result that they want? What are their values? What motivates them? What are their interests? Which websites do they visit? What makes them laugh? What phrase might they use? What compels them to tag people or to hit that share button? That is the gold you can get to hit share. So brainstorm this, get it down on paper. I would just take a couple of hours, sit with a friend, sit with one of your ideal clients, even better, and ask them this stuff and get it all down on paper. And that is going to inform your content strategy, because then you are going to post content that makes sense with all of that. Okay, this bit here. And then from that, you're going to define 4 to 6 relevant content pillars. That's like topic buckets, I call them. So it might be, so selling, information about your products or your services is certainly one. Things like, oh, I always go blank. I'm going to go to an estate agent, okay? So if you're an estate agent, your luck is in. But it's things like how is, a topic area could be for them, how to sell your home. Okay, so tips for selling your home. Or it could be tips for a small home or tips for a large home or whatever. It could be around decorating, so ideal home stuff. So they're different topics that aren't actually what you do, but they are going to really appeal to your ideal client at this time. So that's the sort of thing that you need to be doing, looking into your topic, what topic areas can you do. So for me, I'm going to quickly show you. Oh, flipping heck, I can't. Can I move that? Oh yeah. Okay, can you see that? This is Lucid chart. So this is another way of doing it. I think, what do they want? What are their values? What are their problems? What's the related stuff? So they want to be organized, or I'd love to be organized. I'd love to have more confidence on social media. I'd love to have more time. I'd love to have a successful business. What do they want? What do your clients want? Related stuff. These are like things that might, so this is like stuff that I'm going to share topics, content around, because this stuff is also interesting to my client, even though I don't do it. So content marketing, well, I do it a little bit. SEO, which is search engine optimization. You can do clever stuff to your website to make it be found. I don't do that, but that's going to be interesting to my clients because they're obviously trying to set up online and get a bit more, you know, found. So if I can share interesting articles on that, or bring a guest onto my live show every week that can help them with that, then that's going to be useful. Mindset stuff. We all know that to run a business and to make it successful, you need to be flipping strong in your mind, don't you? Because it's a roller coaster. So what stuff can I share around that is going to be interesting to my ideal client? Email marketing, again, it's another specialism within digital marketing. I don't do it. Well, I do it a little bit, but it's not my zone of genius. I can, you know, I can write copy and that's fine. But so I get some expert, maybe I can get an expert in on that into my group, or I can get a guest blog done and I can share, or I can curate, go and find some content, because people will have written blogs about email marketing. So I can share that content out to my people, or I can go and do my own research and write a blog on it. So how can I find topics that are going to be interesting, that aren't necessarily about what I sell, but that are going to keep people coming back to me because I deliver really good, valuable content around subjects that is useful to my ideal client. So I hope you can relate that to your business in some way. And if you can't, luckily, I'm actually running a workshop on this very thing in a couple of weeks' time, where I'm basically going to help 10 people. I'm just limiting it to 10 because I want to be able to make it bespoke for everybody. I'm going to help them develop their own content strategy for their social media. So hopefully that is helpful for that. Let's share, present. I'm conscious of the time. I can't remember what more's left. Content pillars. Here are some generic ideas for your content pillars. Phew, because my mind went blank. Thank goodness I did this. So the brand story, the business story. Look, people love to hear business journeys. If you're an entrepreneur, what is that? What have you gone through to get to where you are? If you're a corporate, this is your opportunity to bring it back. Corporates lose that personal touch, don't they? But at the end of the day, people buy from people. So how can you use social to recreate that lovely connection between people? You need some superstars who want to hop on video. That's what you need. Sales posts, benefits, the transformation. Don't just sell. Tell people about the benefits. Tell them about the transformation they'll go through if they buy your product or if they buy your service. Tips around your offering. They are brilliant content pillars. What tips can you offer? And community. So what I did before Christmas for Q4, all the way through quarter 4, I did a shout out Sunday post for local businesses that I just worked with, and I bought cake off them or whatever. And that was really a lovely thing to do because people really got behind it, and it got me great reach. And people kind of came to my page and were like, oh, who's this girl shouting about this company? And so it's really nice to share the love, isn't it? And if you share the love, then people will share the love back. And it's a lovely way to build community online. So if you're a local business, perhaps if you're a hairdresser and you know of a local hair salon, nail salon, so hair and nails, okay, 2 separate businesses, but you've got the same ideal client, work together, banter off each other, engage on each other's posts, share each other's stuff. How can you do that with, really think out of the box and think about how you can increase your network, your community network online through that sharing the love. Focus on the love. Okay, so here is some more detailed ideas for you. You're going to get these slides, so I'm not going to go through it all just now. But when you're sharing, you know how I said don't forget to sell? I always forget to sell. But you want to drop a value post, then sell. So 3 values in a cell, i.e. don't just sell, sell, sell. Video posts, this would include lives. If you can go live, it's really powerful because you get that instant interaction of people asking questions and you can really drop value. Oh my gosh, we've got 24 questions in the Q&A and 8 questions in the chat. Shall I hop into that just now? This is excellent. I have a feeling we may need a session about the basics of marketing. Yeah, I can definitely do that, Carol. Tend to work on basic marketing principles, Ada. Yes, exactly, Darren. That's really helpful. That's a lovely comment from Darren. Tend to work on basic marketing principles of Ada: attention, interest, desire, action. Is it bad to post the same thing twice? No, Graham, I do that quite often, but I would leave it a few weeks, maybe 8, 10 weeks. If you've got a great post that worked really well 10 weeks ago, then share it again for sure. Pick up with Tim, organize something. Can you only do Facebook poll via a group rather? Do you know, that's really interesting about polls. It disappeared recently. It disappears every now and again. Keep checking back. They're always changing stuff. But yeah, I think it did disappear recently. But you can do polls in stories. Okay, question and answer. Oh, they've all gone. Okay, brill. Okay. So yeah, so case studies are great. If you're if you sell products, so if you're e-com, do a demonstration of unwrapping, you know, what's the experience people go through if they buy your product. A weekly Q&A that would have to be live. Behind the scenes is great content on video. Image posts you could test. By the way, this is not exhaustive. Is that the word? Do you know what I mean? There's so much more stuff you can do, but I'm just trying to give you a few ideas to get you going. Meet the team are brilliant, really good. And if you can kind of tap into employee engagement, get your employees on board with what you're trying to do. Get some fun facts about them, and then get them to share it with their network. You know, that's just another way, and it's great for HR as well. HR, what am I talking about? Recruitment, top tips, industry stats and fun facts, testimonials. Please get some testimonials and share them regularly because that's your social proof. External links, again, be careful, don't do too many, but linked case studies, so out on your website, curated blogs and articles. So you don't have to just use your own content. I'm always sharing content from social media marketers, social media marketing world, loads and loads of my peers who are all amazing what they do. They're writing content. I quite often share their stuff because I value collaboration over competition. All of that stuff, share other people's stuff if it's valuable. You have to think about that, if it works for your business or not. Any PR that you get, share that. Obviously, relevant Facebook posts that add your spin. So you could remember I was talking before about the hairdresser and the nail salon. If you can actually share one of their posts, but always add something above it. Don't just share it, like put your spin on it. And then polls, ask a question, just ask a question. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Copy only, that's inspirational quotes maybe. You could do inspirational quotes up here for images. You could do nice branded images in Canva. Relevant GIFs with engaging copy. And you can even create your own GIFs. So, oh, and repurpose. So if you've got case studies or blogs on your website or video, a really good video that you've done, how can you take that and make it into a smaller post, into a carousel post maybe, with 1, 2, 3 tips, 1 to 3 ways to move house without losing your mind or whatever. People love a list, don't forget that. Okay, let's create some posts. Oh my gosh, few you all say, or maybe not. So here it says create post. Can you see that? I don't use that because you can't schedule. So I don't use that anymore. I go over here on the left hand side and I go into publishing tools, and that takes me.
Hello, Jessica speaking.
Hello, Jessica.
Yeah, speaking.
Oh, I'm just going to mute. Can somebody mute Jessica maybe?
Oh, hi.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Thanks. Right. So this is publishing tools. Now you can also go into something called Creator Studio. I do not use Creator Studio, and to be quite honest with you, I don't really know how it differs from publishing tools. There are so many different ways to do stuff on Facebook. And so you might do something in a completely different way to me, and that's absolutely fine. I'm not the only way to do it. This is just how I do it. This is how I found my way with it. So I go into publishing tools, I go to create post, and you can here choose whether it goes onto your Instagram as well, or just onto your Facebook. I actually have a very different vibe over on Instagram. It's very much behind the scenes, loving the Isle of Man kind of stuff over there. So I do not share many business posts, so I untick that. But if you have that ticked, you can actually, oh, you could yesterday. It's gone. Yesterday, you could alter it, like make it bespoke for Instagram, but that's gone. Interesting, eh? So quite often I will just ask a question. So I would say something like, what do you find most annoying about Facebook? That would be a good question for me to ask. And can you see here that little colored button just underneath the text box? I click on that and I just choose one. Now yellow stands out quite nicely in the feed, so I quite often use yellow. I've not used an image or anything. It looks a bit crazy there, but it'll be fine. And quite often I'll just share a post like that because they do really well. Crazy, eh? They do really well, those posts. So if you're ever stuck, just ask your audience a question. Can I just check really quickly? I know there's probably loads of other questions in the chat, but were there some specific things people wanted to know about posting? Was it scheduling was one, wasn't it? So on the right-hand side here, where it says publish, if I click publish, that will publish it right now. If I click schedule post, then I can schedule it for whatever day, or whatever time. And then I click schedule, and then I click schedule post, and then it goes out. And so I can sit and do all of my scheduling for the week because I've got an exact idea of what I'm going to post. I sit down on a Monday morning, not today, and I schedule all my posts out, and then it's done. You can also use an external scheduler, which I actually do use an external scheduler, especially if you're going to have like an approvals process in place, because then you can just send it off to the approver can approve it, and then it goes out. So that's for corporates maybe that have that a bit more of a structure. Cancel post. But yeah, that's how I do all of my scheduling in there. To go back, we were talking about polls, weren't we? Let's just see if it's possible at the moment. No, it's gone. Yeah, it's gone. That's a shame, isn't it? Polls have gone at the moment. They just must be in groups. So yeah, are there any particular questions about, just so I don't miss anything? I'm just reading these questions. Put the same post on different social media platforms. Do you need to change the content? If so, how much do you need? That's a really good question, Caroline. I have got different ideal clients that I talk to on my different platforms. Some people just use the platform to talk to do the same thing. But I find that things I post on Facebook do not work in the same way on LinkedIn. They don't work as well. And I find that on Instagram, I prefer to use it in a different way. I prefer to use it for behind the scenes. So Instagram's quite good for behind the scenes because it's a much more visual platform. So you kind of play to the strengths of the platform, but also to which ideal clients you think are on there, and if you can make that work for your business. So yeah, you can try putting the same content out and see if that works. But as I said right back, it's test, measure, refine. So try it. If it doesn't work, then, you know, and also you'll know in your gut, you'll be thinking, oh, this doesn't quite sit right on this platform. And so if you think about the different platforms as different types of parties, where Facebook is that party that's sort of like the, I don't know, the street party with your nana, your kids, everyone. LinkedIn is more like a networking event, isn't it? But I mean, don't feel stifled or anything, but it's a bit of a different vibe. Instagram is much more, people love the inspiration and the color and the visual stuff over there, if you can make that work in some way. So it is a different vibe. Twitter, oh my God, Twitter's a nightmare at the moment. oh, it's a very nasty place to be at the moment, I find. Don't know about you guys, but Twitter's really good for like quick questions and really quick. The shelf life of a tweet is 25 minutes. And so, you know, it's not a place to be putting something that you want people to see for the next 5 days. It's just not. It's more like, it's really good for live events. It's really good for like the police and accidents and stuff, and roads opening stuff, you know. If you've got a lot of information that you need to get out that's always changing, Twitter's great for that. So it really depends on how you're using the different platforms and what you're trying to do. I would say it's not a very, you have to put some thought into that. Darren, what balance of curated versus own created? Should we need to watch copyright IP infringement when using other people's content for commercial? That's a great question, Darren. Images, you need to be super, super careful. Even if you're getting them from these sites that have got, they say they've got the permission, I would always go into the terms and conditions and make sure that you are confident that the image that you're sharing, you're allowed to share in this way. And yeah, it's different for the marketing and the unpaid stuff. And when you go to do paid stuff, it's a different thing. So be really careful with that. Curated versus created on Facebook, I do about 50-50. It depends, again, it depends on your business. If you've got tons of created content, then you kind of, you know, I would do less, but you know, sometimes it's really good to throw something in there. But yeah, I do 50-50. And when I trained, when was that, 4 years ago, they were recommending 70-30, I think, or 60-40 of curated, more curated than created, interestingly, on Facebook. But I say more 50-50 now. But again, it's all about testing and see what works for your business. Our Facebook Business Manager was set with fake profiles. Oh, that we've had that one, haven't we? What's the organic? What's the story with tags function in the posting? Is it needs? What's the story with the tags function in the posting? Is it needed for organic posts? I'm not sure what you mean, Dylan. What are the benefits of adding captions onto a video you're posting onto Facebook natively? I would always add captions, because I think it's something like 85% of people scroll Facebook with the sound off. So I use rev.com. It takes 2 minutes. They do it. It's like $1.50 or something for a minute. And they send you an SRT file, which you can upload in Capwing or whatever you use. And actually you can do it. I think Facebook has its own subtitling thing now, but I don't know how accurate it is, but I would always do that. Okay. I'm really conscious of time. So this is what you want to be doing. You want you start with awareness, then you want to go on to engagement, and then that hopefully leads to conversions. And Facebook ads will speed that up, but you still kind of need to have a certain amount of touch points, and you need to still be building that really key thing, which is know, like, and trust. But yeah, this is what you need to be thinking. So people have been asking, what's the difference between ads and boosting? So boosting, I really use very sparingly. I only boost organic posts that do well, because if an organic post is doing really well, if it's getting more engagement than usual, and you put a boost on it, it will absolutely fly. That is the way to use boosting, when you need to optimize for engagement. So that's kind of the only time I use it. That's not to say that if you've got a message that you want to get out to everybody for whatever reason, just shove it on a boost. That's not to say that that's a bad thing to do. It's just not what I do, but you can do it, because it does work as well. But I prefer to use Ads Manager. I prefer to set up an ad rather than hitting the boost button. But it is a lot more complicated. It does take more time, and it can be overfacing when you first go into it. So for a quick win, if you're happy boosting and you're happy with the results that you get from it, then stick with it. Ads Manager just gives you way more functionality and way more options for optimization. So you can optimize ads for reach. You can do brand awareness too, but I generally don't, unless you're a big company who can pull out these brand awareness measurements. You know, you can really get an understanding of how it's worked and stuff. Generally, it's not really going to get you anything. It's just like putting an ad in a newspaper, whereas you can do a lot more. So why would you do that? Is kind of where I come from with it. So audience growth, you can run a page likes campaign. It'll be interesting if that changes to page follow campaign. I will keep my eye on that. You can optimize for engagement. You can optimize for video views. So if you've got a video that you want people to watch, you set up an ad and you optimize it for video views, and Facebook will find people who are most likely to watch the video. You can optimize for messages. So if you're, if you sell your products by people messaging you, you can send out an ad and optimize it for messages, and Facebook will find the people in the audience that you specify who are most likely to message you off the back of it. You can optimize for traffic, and within that you can optimize for landing page views if you've got the Facebook pixel, which I'm not going to go into now, but it's a little bit of code that sits on your website, and it can tell even more about your audience because it tracks them. And you can optimize for conversions. Again, to do this, you need the Facebook pixel, but you can basically say to Facebook, in this audience that I'm specifying, so women age 40 to age 60 who like, I'm trying to think of something you can target, Topshop. You can then find the people in that audience that like Topshop who are most likely to buy something online, and then Facebook will send that ad to those people. So that's why it's really powerful for e-com. If you're in the Isle of Man and you want to reach people further afield, it's very powerful. So you can do all of that. And then what you can do is you can create warm audiences. So you can create audience of people who watched a certain amount of your video. You can create an audience of people who have engaged with your page or your Instagram page, because it's the same platform. You run Instagram ads and Facebook ads from the same platform. You can make an audience of people who visited your website. You can make an audience of people who are on your email list if you have got permission to remarket in terms of GDPR. You can then say, take that audience of video viewers, people who watched 50% of my 5-minute video, so they've had a 2.5-minute engagement with your brand, and find me people that look just like them, because Facebook has got lots of information points about us. I think it's 126, I can't remember. I always get that figure wrong. They can find people who look just like you because they know so much about us. And this is when, if you're talking about mattresses, you want to buy a new mattress, and then the next half an hour later you're targeted with a Facebook ad for mattresses. That's how they've done it, because the Facebook Messenger will listen and it can target you. Or if you go and visit, for example, I bought my other half a cycling t-shirt for his Christmas. I am now getting targeted incessantly with cycling ads because I visited one website and Facebook recognized that, and I'm now in a lookalike audience for tens of other blooming cycling clothes sites. So that's how it works. And yes, it's creepy. Yes, I get it. It's creepy. But if we can use it to grow our businesses, then I'm kind of like, well, why not? You know what I mean? Until it gets stopped, which iOS, the Apple update, is going to definitely curtail this to some extent. We don't know exactly how much at the moment. It's going to roll out over the next 3 months, so we'll get a better idea. But yeah, that's, I think, why not use it if we can. But I'm really conscious of time. Have we got any questions at this point? I'll just, 7 in the chat. Found the poll. It only shows in publishing tools. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. So there you go. It's in publishing tools. What is the difference between ads and a post? Okay, I'm just going to show you inside of Ads Manager. I wasn't going to do this, but I will, just so you can see the difference. But basically, Facebook post is just a post that you put out there, and you hope that your followers will see it, and you hope that your followers will share it. A Facebook ad is you pay Facebook to make sure that the people in this audience that you're going to specify see that post. So you're paying to play, if that makes sense. My business is for local people, not abroad. Do I need to restrict Facebook to Isle of Man people? Is that possible? You can restrict. Yeah, you can do that, but yeah, I never really bother. Well, I do sometimes bother. You can do it in settings, and then when you go into settings, there'll be like a list of stuff on the right-hand side. If you go through there, you'll see you can block certain countries. But I think what you'd have to do is block every single country in the world, which would take you a long, long time. So for organic posts, you'd have to do that. I wouldn't bother. But for ads, you tell Facebook where you want those ads to go. So you can say, I only want this ad to go to the Isle of Man. So you can specify that. Maria. Off topic, but wanted to ask, my ad account has been disabled. How do I learn what went? Oh my gosh, Lydia, you and about 1,000 others. They're really going through, and actually I need to talk to some of my clients about this. If you've got too many people in your business manager, if you've got fake profiles, if you've gone against one of their terms of service. So I can find a link on that for you. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff and it's happening a lot at the moment. Okay. Oh, there's some Q&A as well. What is it on Facebook Business Manager set on Facebook? Oh, that key one. That one keeps coming back. I think these are in order. Okay. Okay, social media allows big companies to act small again. This is what I was alluding to before with video and things. So what you need to do is making sure that you are being social, like you're not just broadcasting if you really want to get the most from social media from Facebook. So let's talk about social networking and community management. So don't forget, this is social media. This is your opportunity to engage with the people who potentially want to buy from you or from existing customers, because you'll have your fans who buy from you regularly or come and use your services regularly, who engage. Don't ignore them, answer them if they're responding on your posts. So quite often I'll see posts on Facebook and there'll be loads of comments and the brand has not responded in any way, shape or form, even if it's like to say, thanks for your lovely words, because that's your opportunity. Also, if you've got 5 comments and you don't respond to any of them as a business, that's 5 comments. If you respond to each of those comments, that's 10 comments, and the algorithm sees that and it pushes it out to more people. So it enables you to get more reach because you've got more engagement on your post. So don't just ignore it. If people are commenting on your post, that is amazing. They've taken the time to engage with your brand today. Respond to them, whether they ask a question, whatever it is. Now, I know that takes time, but what is the point in posting and getting responses if you're then not going to reap the benefit by having this discussion? And of course, you're always going to get those people who are bored and reply all the time. But, you know, just let them, if that helps you in a way, that pushes it for the algorithm. So anyway, you can make that decision. Set your personal profile up as a signpost to your page, because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be leveraging your networks by adding value. So this is what I was talking about back at the beginning, about how to grow a page. If you can get yourself as a person or a page into groups, Facebook groups, and add value, and people are asking questions, go and answer their question. Don't ask for anything in return unless they ask for something specifically. And then make sure that your profile, your personal profile, is set up as a signpost back to your business page. Now, this is going to be different if you're corporate. It's slightly different. It's how engaged you are with your company, how much you want that link to be there. If you don't, then it doesn't work for you. But for personal brands, it's brilliant. For small companies, it's brilliant, I think. Always respond to comments thoughtfully. So say thanks, even if they're saying something horrible, say thanks for your thoughts, because people just like to be listened to, especially at the moment. And people are a lot more aggressive at the moment as well, I think, with everything that's going on. So really just try and have some empathy. Just say, okay, thanks for your thoughts. Look, and if you want to take it offline, that's maybe a better thing to do sometimes. Look, I'm going to drop you I'm going to drop you an inbox and we can have a little chat about this. Or if you can answer it on the message, on the comment, then that's fine too. But always just be thoughtful and have empathy at the moment as well. And yeah, consider taking it offline. If you're getting a lot of messages, then you can set up an auto response, which makes sense for your business. So you can add frequently asked questions in there. This is my response. I aim to respond as quickly as I can, and certainly within 48 hours, Monday to Friday, because I get really anxious. I don't know about you guys. If I get a message coming in, I feel really anxious. I'm like, oh God, I need to reply to them, because Facebook does that as well, because it says you've got an 80% response rate or whatever it is, and it's really annoying. But I just think if they've got that message, I can relax, especially if it comes in at 10 o'clock on a Friday night. I can just relax a little bit because I know they've got that auto response. And you can actually make that go out on Instagram as well, which is what I have as well. So I would be thinking, if I'm a business that's getting a lot of inbox, I would be making sure that I answer the frequently asked questions in my auto response. So we're not open this week, but we're going to hope to be open from this day, and then always be updating that. Use that as a way to save time. So really consider doing that if it makes sense for your business. Any questions? Is that it? No, nearly it. But let's just, any questions before I've got a little roundup. Chat. My voice is hurting. Jess from Chamber here. We are getting lots of lovely engagement on our Insta stories. If you're enjoying this fab webinar, why not post a story about it? And I will get it shared on our page. Exactly. That's where it's really good, because we tag Chamber share the love. And that's why it's really good to build community links. You know, if you can get people who are going to help you reach their audience. If the hairdresser's got 300 followers and the nail technician's got a different 300 followers and they share photos, they share things, then that's going to be reaching more people for you, isn't it? So that's a lovely idea. So I'll go and do that. Q&A. Silly question, how do I tag? That's a great question, Angela. It's not a silly question. No question's a silly question. Let me show you. So create post. I would usually do this in Thingy Manager. I get another Facebook open and I go to, so if it's Chamber, for example, that I want to tag, Chamber of Commerce, and I click on it. And can you see underneath where it says Isle of Man Chamber of Commerce, it says at IOMCOC. That's their tagging name. And so that's what you need to put in when you want to tag them in a post. So if I go here and I say, thanks at, I forgot what it is, IOMCOC. And it comes up. Now, sometimes it doesn't, and it's very annoying, and it's a glitch, but generally it comes up. And that's how you tag them. And yeah, it's a really powerful thing to do because, you know, tagging people can, sometimes I've tagged Social Media Marketer, which is a huge publication, and they come and comment on my post. And I think that's really nice. So yeah, do tag. That's a good question. Q&A on, would you recommend a third party social media manager? Yes, Theo, I love Content Cal because it's really visual. It's a visual sort of planning tool, and it has these approval layers in. So I was working for a law company recently, and it was brilliant because law companies are very I understand why, but they're, you know, they want to see everything before it goes out. And so it was great. I set up the post, I sent it them for approval, and they approved it, and it was all there. You can then easily duplicate posts between different platforms very easily. Some people say it has the effect of limiting your reach slightly because they can tell it's from an external scheduler. I've never really noticed that. And I know there's a guy on LinkedIn who's testing it at the moment for his personal profile on LinkedIn, and he's seeing no change at all. So yeah, I do recommend it. Is there any way to save response time in a conversation thread? Does it feel like I have to have? Yes, Penelope, that drives me insane. I haven't found a way of doing that. I just stick a thumbs up or a smile, or I just ignore it. I just don't, do you know what? I just gave up on it because I just thought you can drive yourself mad, can't you? It's all anxiety inducing stuff, that, isn't it, Penelope? So no, I've not found a way, unfortunately. One more question and then I'm just going to recap. Am I right to think you need to like a page before you can tag them? Debs, I don't think that. Sometimes if it's glitching, I go and like the page and it fixes it. So maybe, but I've definitely tagged pages that I don't like. So yeah, it might sometimes affect it. Yeah, it is really annoying, Jessica. Jessica's just saying sometimes you can't tag. It's really annoying. I don't know. It's a glitch. It happens all the time. Very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. Okay, so just to finish off then, building an engaged audience takes time and effort. It doesn't just happen. It is really getting into the mindset of your ideal client and testing, measuring, refining, and just keep trying, keep trying. Now, you will get a gut feel. If it's not going to work for your business on Facebook, then just don't flog a dead horse. But I would suggest trying ads if you've got the budget. I would probably get some help with that unless you're savvy and you kind of know what you're doing, in which case off you go. Just be careful not to get your ads accounts disabled. I would go and check out the terms of service to get a really good grip, a really good handle on that, so that you don't come across any issues. So you're always testing. Performance-based decisions are key to return on investment. Ads are definitely required to amplify your message and your conversions, whether they're leads or sales, whatever it is, purchases. and Facebook is rented turf. Please don't forget this. If you put all of your eggs into the Facebook basket and we lose Facebook tomorrow, what are you going to do? So yes, it is still a great tool because everybody is on it. So yes, it would be silly to ignore it, but don't just do that. Make sure you're building your list, or maybe you're building a presence somewhere else, or maybe, you know, if you're an online bit, a bricks and mortar, maybe you know, track customers in some way, I don't know, but just don't put all your eggs in that basket, because if Facebook fell over tomorrow, you would be screwed, and I wouldn't want to see that for anybody. So just to finish off with, Bex gave me permission to just tell you how you can work with me if you're interested. So coming up on the 9th of February, I've got a content planning workshop, which is limited to 10 people, and it'll be a couple of 2.5 hours, and we'll just go through my planning system that I use. We'll get you your content pillars set up, and we'll plan your content. So if you're interested in that, give me a shout. I've got the link actually, so I could send that out with when I send over the checklist that I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you a posting checklist that you can use when you post. And if you want to chat about, I do social media strategy sessions one-to-one, or I do strategy development. I also manage platforms for people, and I do Facebook and Instagram advertising strategy and management. And the platforms that I work with mainly are Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And yeah, that's it really. So hopefully that's been useful, and hopefully we've captured all the questions. And if I've not answered them here, I know that Bex is going to hand them over, and I can answer them in future. But I'll hand back to the guys now. Thanks so much for listening. I hope it was useful. I hope I didn't waffle too much.
Thank you so much, Kirsty. Absolutely brilliant. So much to learn there, but luckily we've recorded the session as well. So everybody will get a recording of the whole session, including all the slides, so that you can go back and look at it all with your leisure. I've actually already learned absolutely loads. And I did a little post.
Oh.
I did a little post while you were talking as well, using your new technique, so it was great. Just before everybody pops off, just want to quickly introduce Phoebe from the Enterprise Scheme. She can tell you about the 50% funding that you can gain from the department for social media and any other funding opportunities. So I'll just quickly hand over to Phoebe, and then we'll let you all go. Phoebe, I'm just going to unmute you. Right, there you go, Phoebe, off you go.
Thanks, Bex. Fantastic, thank you so much. So, yes, as Bex mentioned, one of the department schemes which is offered for businesses is the Business Improvement Scheme. So I'm just going to give you a quick run through of a few details about the scheme and kind of your eligibility. So the Business Improvement Scheme is provides grant funding. Oh, sorry, can you not see video very well? It provides grant funding for businesses who are looking to complete an improvement project. So the main offering that it gives businesses is a grant of 50% of the cost of that improvement project, up to £5,000. In addition to that funding, businesses can also engage with technical consultants to deliver the project, and it includes a business advisory service which is provided by the department. So if you are interested in applying for this as your business, I would recommend you go onto the website and read the full scheme guidelines. All the information is on there. But just as a quick overview, the kind of top eligibility requirements are that businesses must be registered or incorporated in the island. They must also employ workers who are in the Isle of Man, one or more employees, and have no. There we go. So a little bit of an overview about some of the business improvement projects that you could undertake. So again, it offers 50% funding towards these different projects, up to a maximum value of £5,000. So that could be improvement projects related to Brexit, a business advisory service, environmental efficiency, information communication technology and information systems, intellectual property protection, legal advice concerning external investment in business, legislation, quality accreditations, and then there's also digital marketing and social media consultancy and your websites. There has recently been a change to this one, which is why I think it fits so nicely in with what Kirsty's just discussed, which is that as part of the Economic Recovery Group's funding, they have increased the support that's available for these kind of projects. So if your business is looking to undertake an improvement project in these disciplines of digital marketing, social media consultancy, or website support, you can now receive up to £10,000 towards this project. So it's still 50% funding, but until the 31st of March, it is up to £10,000. So the budget that you've got there is doubled. A few key things I just want to mention quickly is a few kind of housekeeping bits about the scheme. So one of the points is that you have to apply before you buy. So grants can't be made retrospectively. If you're considering a project, I would recommend getting in touch with the team at this point before you kind of embark on any further exploration of what that may look like. The second is that grants are not paid in advance, so they're paid as a reimbursement once you've completed the project and you've paid for it, and then you'll be reimbursed 50% through the department, so it's just something to note. Again, just reiterating that businesses for this scheme must have at least one employee. And finally, that point about if you're doing digital marketing or social media consultancy or websites, the increased funding currently ends on the 31st of March, so you need to apply before that date. I would recommend, if you are interested in this, going on to the department website and having a look at the full scheme guidelines and information. So that is available at www.dfe.im/BIS. And that, I know it's a very whistle-stop tour of the scheme, but if you have any questions at all, feel free to contact us. I've put the phone number and email address there, but also we have a website inquiry form where if you want to put in the details of your business, a member of the team will be in touch about the kind of support that we offer and if there's anything that may be available to your business. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kirsty. Kirsty, sorry, I'm too used to seeing Kirsty all morning. Thank you, Phoebe. That's excellent. And thank you ever so much, everyone, for taking part in this morning's webinar. I hope you found that useful. It was originally going to be face-to-face, but we thought actually, you know, this would work excellently online, and it gives you all the opportunity to get the recording as well and sit and go through at your leisure and you know, go through everything and get some real good learning there. So we'll follow up with the recording and some follow-up materials from Kirsty with the slides, and we'll look at any questions that weren't answered today, and we'll leave it all there. And excellent timing, I'm impressed with us all. 11:32, so hope you're all well, and we'll see you all soon. Thanks, Kirsty, as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. Cheerio.